Trying to figure out how to. Okay.
This meeting is being recorded.
Thank you to everyone who is here. I want to take a moment to introduce our speaker. His name is Dr. Darrial Rodriguez. My goodness, I'm sorry, Dr. Darrial Reynolds, who is one of our instructors at South Texas College. I'm really, really excited about this presentation to talk about getting our students involved. In some ways I felt bad that the midterm elections are coming up, and in some ways it felt like it might be too late to get involved to get this information to you. But I live in Iowa, so the next presidential election will start the day after the midterm elections. So I will hand it over to Dr. Reynolds.
Okay. Thanks. What I'm going to try to do is share my screen here. Okay, so let's see here on the so I can pull it up. Entire screen. Oh, okay. You know what? Okay. So
I have your slides, so I can also, if you
you
need me.
you yeah, I'm trying to get to the entire screen. Yeah, I did send them to you yesterday, but for some reason it's not showing. My desktop is not showing. So I'm gonna have to probably get you to bring them
Okay,
up.
no problem. Since you
Okay.
already sent me, yeah,
All
since you
right.
already sent me, let me get this out. Let me get
Yeah.
this out.
I don't know why it's not nothing on the desktop is showing. Windows not showing.
No worries. Oh, oh, hold on one sec. Let me get this
Yeah,
bigger.
yeah, get it up to work like bigger. Okay, so let's see.
Let me do. Here we go. Just let me know when to advance.
Okay, that's great right there. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so basically, I'll let you know. Okay, so by the way, okay, okay, Aaron,
Mhm.
I do have there's three students here with us at this time, and they're going to be here to, of course, to enjoy the presentation. It's about encouraging voting amongst college students in Texas, and they are that. They are college students in Texas. In fact, they are dual enrollment students, and so they even though they're not voting age right now, but this still will be parts in there where we can have students to think about, even if they're in college and not voting age, how they what they why voting is important, and help them encourage them to vote when they reach that age. So I'm going to, in the spirit of catch the net, I'm going to go through and try to show our colleagues here some of the many activities that we can use. And of course, this comes from the spirit of catch the net, how we try to incorporate activities to encourage students to vote and 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 develop their own self-worth. So as you can see from the first slide, that's some of the things I'm going to be doing. Oh, okay. So Aaron, will you please to go to the next slide? I can't press them. So I took the liberty on this first slide to just show what the mission of Catch the Net is, to increase the educational attainment of Latinos and other undeserved communities in order to close the achievement gap. And so for these purposes, we want to like empower young people to take responsibility for positive change for themselves, their families, their communities by providing programs that promote higher education, civic action, what we're trying to do right now, citizenship and community leadership. So with that, I want to take the time to help use this similar webinar and presentation, thanks to Aaron, so we can encourage voting in this 2022 election. So thanks, Aaron. Would you please do the slide there? So to start off, why voting is so important. I think the students will agree too that there's two key reasons why you should vote. One is basically a basic democratic theory. You have this power to select leaders, and we kind of call that representative democracy, where you vote for people that give you the best idea to achieve your interests and policies. And the other one is you can use political power to select leaders We kind of call that direct democracy. In other words, there's a few states, like, for example, California, where voters went out and voted and they approved their interest for legalized marijuana. So that's some of the things that people can do with voting. It's important that you can have your interests translated into policies or leadership. So now I did some digging in the census, and I found that there's some data out there that talks about reasons why people don't vote. And so one of the two biggest reasons why reported that people don't vote was they said they were not interested in voting. And that was like 17.6%, according to the Census Bureau from 2020. And then the second biggest reasons that people indicated, oh, they did not like candidates or the campaign issues. They were not, that didn't concern them. And so, yeah, those are two big reasons why I guess people should not vote. But we're going to use that also later on the show, like when they do care about the issues, then of course that does increase voting right here in the Valley even. We're going to use something. So thanks. And Aaron, would you please? So that's the data sheet that I used to get those top two reasons for not voting from the Census Bureau. And small right there for people to see. I just wanted to include it, so if we wanted to get someone copies, we could. So thanks, Aaron, would you please? Okay, so now based on that, I came up with this activity that I'm trying to encourage my colleagues here to use, and it's to encourage voting. And I noticed that there's more than just political science courses or history courses. There's also like courses called reading and writing, integrated reading and writing, and math courses. So I want to kind of like table this for those type courses. So first, I want to show, and for the sake of time we got here, because I know we started late, right, Aaron? Yeah, so for the sake of the time here, I'm going to show the video clip that I want for this activity. I want them to be able to show a video clip about voting in Texas, and then have the students to do this activity after that. So after they show this video about voting in Texas, I would encourage them to show the first one too, convincing your non-political friends and family to vote, and that was about 7 minutes. So, and voting in Texas is about 2 minutes. So total, we got about 10 minutes. If we don't have time for all those, I would just ask Aaron to show the one that's on 2 minutes. And then we'll come back to the activity.
Voting in elections.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah.
Let me get it full screen. And
Yeah.
Is both a right and a privilege, the foundation of our democracy. But in order to keep our elections fair and keep out any bad actors, there are things every eligible Texan must do to vote, and your county is here to help. To vote in Texas, a person must be a U.S. citizen, over 18, not a convicted felon, not rendered incapacitated by a court, registered with the county. Registering is easy and can be done with your county elections administrator or with the Texas Secretary of State at votetexas.gov. You'll be mailed your very own voter registration card. Make sure all the information is correct, sign it, and keep it safe. Now, when it's time to vote, you'll need to bring one of these documents to the election site for the official to verify it's you, match it to your registration, and provide you the correct ballot. And if for some reason you don't have one of these documents, you can still vote by signing a special declaration and providing one of these documents. For many reasons, some folks prefer to vote by mail, which Texas allows. To be eligible, a voter must meet one of these qualifications: be 65 or older, plan to be away during the election, such as for college or military service, have a disability or sickness, be expecting to give birth around the election, or be confined to jail but not convicted of a felony. And if the voter meets one of these qualifications and wants to vote by mail, they can and must request a ballot from the county. Elections officials cannot and will not distribute unsolicited ballots, but they're here to help anyone who formally requests to vote by mail. And whether voting in person or by mail, Texas counties are here to help voters exercise their right to vote. After all, that's what keeps Texas strong and gives everyone a way to shape our future. Just another way Texas counties deliver.
Okay, I was just thinking about. So, Aaron, yes, thanks.
Texas, one giant state made up of two.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So let me, Aaron, I asked my student, could, could they see that, the video?
Could they?
Could y'all see the video?
I heard it.
Yeah, okay, okay. I gotta clarify. Yeah, so no, okay, we good, we good. We didn't see it over here. We heard it, but that's
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Right.
Sorry.
We got it. We got it.
All right.
But I think they got enough of the idea that so what's going to happen. So on this activity, that will just be part of it. You can show something to the students, or do some type of like presentation to the student. But this activity that I want to put with that I'm trying to encourage is have students to do some type of discussion, whether it's in writing or just in class discussion, where they talk about they discussed at least 2 reasons why they should vote in the 2022 midterm election, and that's something that I would ask my students to do. And then do the other side, have them to write a paragraph that discusses or talk about at least 2 reasons why they should not vote in the 2022 election. So we can get ideas that they students can relate to their everyday life and how they feel in their own bodies, how they feel about voting. And it'll be probably different from area to area, culture to culture, but they get to explain that to us. So that's something that, and when I saw Dr. Eloise walk across, I was just thinking about, reading and writing class, that, she could like think about doing something like that, or people who teach what she teach. Just an idea. So these are some things that I'm encouraging for that. So can please, Aaron, the next slide. So now, and Dr. Chavez sent me a lot of information here about registration, Secretary of State here in Texas. So I want to say voting registration is important. That one of the reasons why our students should register to vote is because that makes them eligible to vote. And so one of the key components of registering to vote is to be able to contact. So we want to let our students know, contact the Secretary of State office, and we have a link here they could click on, but just contact the Secretary of State, and they list all the voting registration rules, eligibility for voting, how to register, update your registration information, and even about the certificate that they send you after you register. So they get all that information there. And it's very important to keep track of that, know that office is there to help the students register. So Aaron, I'm going to get you to go to the next one. So we have this activity to encourage voting and registration here. So that first link is the data, but we don't have to click on it. But I want the math teachers, if they want activities for them, to be able to like use math to encourage students to increase the numbers of voting, to register and vote. So I'm asking this activity be used where the teachers show students these data. It don't have to be math, it can be any course. Show how many people are registered here in Texas in the last election. And then in terms of the voting age population, the figures come from the data. How many voting age population that we have, and the percentage of the voting age population that's registered. So we're trying to encourage students to register first by showing these numbers. And so here's the math question. Please have the students show that they know how to calculate the percentage of VAP registered. So they will go through and figure out which number goes on top and how you get the average there, the percent. Alondra, can you can do that, right? Okay, I'm asking my students, can they do it? Okay, and Rodrigo, how about it? You think you can figure that one out? You can do that, right? Okay, we'll get to that. Okay, encouraging voting. So once they see that, I want Aaron to show this clip. So what they're supposed to do is like put the registered voter number on top and the voting age population on the bottom. And then that's how they get the percentage of people who are actually voting age population that's registered. It's going to be 78%. Then we're going to ask them to discuss what they can do in order to increase that number. Like come up with some ideas. Of course, we're trying to encourage them to go out and register. But if you please show this this video about young Latinos registered to vote for Texas midterms, and they're going to talk about why they think it's important to get out there and do that too. If they can't see it, if we can't show it, but that's
Okay, can you still see my screen if I leave it like this?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
apologize for the ad that is showing up.
Oh yeah.
Not my choice.
Okay. You have until tomorrow to register if you plan on voting in November.
Some election experts say they're expecting a large voter turnout among the state's Hispanic population. KVU's Matt Fernandez has more.
Have you ever voted before?
No.
It's so exciting. It's going to be your first time.
ACC student Daniel Mendoza is registering to vote.
I'm excited. I'm finally 18, so cool that I get to vote now.
Mendoza is from Austin and studying biology at ACC. He'll be one of the many Hispanic voters this election.
Proud to be a Hispanic here, and everyone should vote. Like, it's something important to do, especially now.
Hey, this is so exciting.
Taylor Martinez is with the nonprofit voter engagement group Joel, helping Mendoza register to vote at the ACC Cypress Creek campus.
A Latino-centered civic engagement organization. We work to make sure young Latinos are registered in their communities using their voice.
Joel has registered 11,000 people statewide so far. Martinez knows the importance of the Hispanic vote.
Latinos make up such a big percentage of the population here in Texas, just about 40%. We are the largest growing demographic here in Texas.
Especially with so many key races this year.
So this year we have the governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, lots of important statewide races, as well as various local races, depending on where you live.
As for Mendoza, he cannot wait to be part of the process.
Still unreal. I still feel like I'm not gonna vote, but finally 18, finally an adult.
In Austin, Matt Fernandez, KVU News.
Okay, thanks, Aaron. Yeah, so we show the excitement and the encouragement to vote. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so then we're gonna ask the students to do some kind of discussion in writing or writing about what they can do to increase that number. Okay,
Sorry,
yeah.
the toggling is going a little crazy.
Yeah.
YouTube just keeps on auto playing. Go ahead.
So that's that was the where their figures came from the Secretary of State office over there. Now, then that was okay. So turnout is something we're trying to increase. So back to turnout here, we're going to give some kind of presentation to let students know in your class that it's the 2022 election. It's important to vote for your governor, like they were saying there earlier, and other positions, the legislative branch. And then if there's any referendums or school bonds elections on there, that's important to vote too. So obviously that means you have the power to not only pick your representatives once again, but take some of these laws. And but to do that, definitely we know that you want to tell them that Latino population is really high, but the voting turnout amongst the Latino population in Texas is very low. So it needs to increase. And turnout is important in terms of making sure that Latino interests and needs or have a chance to translate into policy. So in those type of ideas spread around to the students in the college campuses, those democratic ideas, that will be very helpful. So Aaron, will you please go to the next slide, please? Now, so again, back to the math courses. So I want to show the turnout, again, the data, how many students were registered, how many people were registered, and turnout based on the turnout to register, that percent. So we have like 16 million people, and then that were registered, and then 11 million, just rounding, voted. So then you come up with 66%. That's a record turnout, by the way. So we have students calculate that again in the math class to see how that we arrive to that number. And then of course, again, the activity adds to, we want to encourage them to vote by getting them to write a discussion or just talk about it in class. What kind of activities can they do in their community in order to increase that percent of turnout? And why is it important that they participate in civic activities that increase 50% of turnout. So that's the basic idea of it, Aaron. Yeah. And then there's so I got that data. And then there's one more here that I wanted to right there. So and want to show that the data shows that in Texas, the Hispanic population 53% voted, which is still on line with the average in the US. But when you come down here and you look at it, that's lower than any other group though. When you come down here and you look at the United States and Texas for age, and we get to our age groups of college students, 18 to 24 mainly, and then 25 to 34 some. That's the lowest group in terms of turnout. So we definitely want to show, not only encourage you, but there's a need for this. We do need to work hard at helping encourage that. That should be a goal that we have here for sure. It's part of catching that purposes as well. So, Eric, will you please go to the next one there? Okay, so this right here is, we don't have to worry about this being a video. It is actually audio, and it happened right here in South Texas, over by Brownsville, Cameron Park, and this was like the lowest turnout in the country, pretty much. And they found out that they were encouraged to vote, and they found out it worked. It actually worked. They were able to get their interests turned into policies and programs and activities. So I want to make sure that we can use this activity too to help encourage this, college students to vote, especially here in Texas, especially down here in South Texas, and in not just INRW classes, but other courses too. So yeah, so let's listen to the video clip first. I want to make this a part of the activity, and then have the instructors, professors to ask students to do this reflection activity. It's based on these 5 questions here. And one of the things Keston always taught me to do, ask the students what was one strong sentence in the radio broadcast, and then why was the county commissioners unresponsive to the Cameron County community's needs at first? We're gonna try to figure that out by listening to the clip. And how did Cameron County community get the attention of elected officials? So students will be looking for that and seeking that. And then how did the residents of Cameron County change? How did their lives change as a result of voting? Their lives change in what way? So they're gonna maybe write down some things that they can tell their lives change based on how they see their own lives too in that situation. And then, do you plan to vote in the next election? After hearing that, you'd be like, whoa, hey, yeah, I can. Why or why not? Or I don't just want to, So that's what I'm trying to do, help them do. So Aaron, will you please play the, yeah, not that. So that if for people who want to hand it out, that's the transcript of the radio broadcast right there. And they can, hand that out and have students to read it, and they can feel more comfortable doing it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So basically, all right. So basically, yes. So again, I just want to conclude that one of the main reason for that presentation, trying to share these activities to encourage voting amongst college students in Texas, mainly, of course, with a heavy focus on Latino students, because I want to try to make it help increase education attainment of Latinos, as well as to help young people, college students, with programs, with programs that promote civic actions, things like that. That's what we're trying to do. I'm just summarizing that last part. That's what we're trying to do. So I want to, again, in conclusion, please, college students out there and colleagues that's here at this webinar, please try to help encourage your students to vote here. We would appreciate that very much. And I think we gave a balanced effort. So I'm glad thanks for helping me, let me be a part of this, and hopefully everyone else can join in and help out, encourage students to vote, even with better activities if they can. Yeah. So thanks, Aaron. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Reynolds. I mean, I think that I know Dr. Chavez had put in the chat, a question of
Yeah.
why
Question.
folks don't vote. I mean, I think just in some of the readings that I do,
Mhm.
especially young people don't feel like they have a voice. They maybe, don't feel like their individual vote matters. And I think that you make a really compelling case that it's about the individual, but it's also about the collective, and that there could be a lot of power. There's a lot of untapped potential in getting Latino college students, particularly in South Texas and throughout Texas, really, to vote.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had a question. I know the one of the last tables where you showed the percentage of Latinos that voted. I'm
Yeah.
wondering if the number that it
Mhm.
was based on was that uh, based on the total population
Uh,
uh, residing in the state, or total population of those that had registered to vote.
okay, that's a good question because I was going to. So the 66% here, that on the location United States total population, 66,
Hmm.
that's voted on just the registered voters. It would
Okay,
actually, it would be, it would be lower if I just put it every voting age population. So that's voted.
right,
That's the record turnout
right,
right there. Voted on the
right.
registered voters. Yes,
So
yes,
at least they're already registered, so they've gone through
yes.
that process. It's
Mhm.
just getting them to vote once they've registered,
Yes,
right? Which is
right.
different than the population that is
Yes,
not even registered,
yeah,
that we would have to work on to do that. So it's kind of like two-pronged strategy.
yes.
One, to get those that haven't registered to register,
Mhm.
and then second, to get those that are already registered to get there on election day.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fascinating,
Mhm.
because basically it's 10% less than those that have registered already. You know.
Yeah,
Mm.
Dr.
yeah.
Reynolds, I wonder, I know that in previous years, and this was really pre-pandemic, that the South Texas College Ascender program had been really successful in getting like service learning projects, getting students involved in service learning or just different fundraisers or things like that they could do on campus. And I wonder, is a voter registration drive something that students could get
Mhm.
involved in, or
I didn't know that was coming, but that question, but I was about to, when Dr. Chavez was saying what she was saying, I was about to mention that because so we do a great job on registered students. We do. Like I'm one of those registers that put put cards out in the classroom because they asked me to do it from the county government, and then the students just fill them out in class,
Mhm,
and then I collect them, and then the county people come by later on and pick them up and take them to the courthouse.
mhm,
So we do that in class. I mean, we're very energetic about doing that. The word
Mhm.
we do that, and very aggressive with doing that. And so students, you're not telling them who to vote for,
of
or
course.
you just registering them to vote,
Mhm.
and then they sign it, turn it in, and we turn it in for them. They don't even have to mail it in or walk it in or anything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do that. That we always have done that, even without just doing it through the S and Dare program. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, we do that at
Mhm.
Mhm.
STC. Yes, we set up booths in the hallway,
Mhm.
tables, and, and just do the things like that. So yes,
So
and
what
we
about what
and
about?
huh?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna say, what about actually getting them to vote? I know some districts would actually have the morning off, so
Oh
people would go vote or things of that nature. Or are there any
yeah, yeah,
things happening
yeah. We
towards
got
that
that
goal?
covered. Now Anna, Dr. Alanis, she knows we got that covered too. So I don't know about like ACC, Austin Community College, or San Antonio Community but system. But here, this campus here on the Stark County campus, where I am, we use this campus is used as an election location. So they actually bring machines and stuff in here. And so it's
Right.
pretty easy for our students to vote. They come here on campus.
Mhm.
Yes, they actually come here. So right down the hall. So
Wow.
it's pretty easy. Like if you don't have anything else to do, you can just go vote. Between classes, you can go vote. You can tell your students, encourage them, like to if you haven't done it yet, it's right down the hall.
Mhm.
And you can go watch and see how it works, even like before you even try the machine out. So yeah,
Right.
we do that. We do bring the machines on campus here, and we share our dealings with the county government. Yeah, like that. Yeah.
You know, I also have to say I appreciate the perspective that you took in suggesting activities that could be done in math, INRW. I think considering that we have colleges that also do Mexican American studies, government history courses. There are a lot of different ways that thinking about voting can be incorporated into the curriculum, can be thought about in sort of historical disparities in voting, the importance of voting. You know, the research is very clear that people who are more educated tend to vote more, and I think there's a lot to be said about getting students in the habit of voting.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm thinking that in the learning frameworks classes, many of them create like little schedules for the week and the day, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And even just an announcement regarding, try to incorporate that in your, agenda for the day. Not to forget to do this kind of thing. For everybody to kind of put together and remind folks that this is important. Or even the sender clubs. I know some are starting to get off the ground. So that should be something. And let's remember that so we can make an announcement and see about maybe them doing that. That would be good.
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing. Are there any questions from anyone or any comments that anybody else wants to make? Any of your students, Dr. Reynolds?
See, you should turn the camera on though so we can say hi. No. I guess he's probably talking to them. I was actually wondering, when he talked about how students can work on the pros and cons.
Yes.
I was wondering if in some of the communication classes or any one class, if they may actually want to have like a debate, between the pros and the cons. And
Yeah.
this way we get students to be more comfortable, speaking in public, making their arguments. And in a way, they don't even have to be of that perspective. You don't have to be a pro and a con, but you could play, lawyer, where you still advocate this point of view. Just as like practice, kind of like they would do in a speech class. And I know many of our classes kind of veer towards speech, to some extent. So when you talked about that, that's what I thought about. Oh,
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Great. Yeah. Yeah.
To have that as an option.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. That's what I was hoping happened. Not that I knew what you were gonna think, but I was hoping that opens up ideas to our colleagues on the webinar. They open up ideas like, oh, I can shape that. I can move this that way. That's great. I mean, that's super.
Yes, and actually the webinar is being recorded, so people will be able to find it or catch the next YouTube channel for those that want to tell their colleagues or their students, and they can go and check it out on their own, especially teachers, so that they can begin to incorporate this, not just this year, but in future years for, different type of elections.
Yes.
Yep, as I mentioned, midterm elections happen November 8th or 9th, and then the next day, the next presidential election season really kicks off. So,
Mhm.
we know that it's an important conversation to have, to plan for, and to start getting students thinking about. So even if students are not registered for this election season, there will be an even more important election in the 2024 presidential election for them to participate in, hopefully. So Dr. Reynolds, I just want to say thank you so much for
Yeah.
just an important reminder, an important lesson to impart to our students about just the crucial role that they have in voting, that every vote counts, and that we as educators play a big role in being able to support that in our students. So thank you so much.
Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome, Aaron. Hey, yeah, thanks. Yeah.
All right. Unless anybody has any questions or anything, I just want to thank you for coming. Please check your emails and your announcements. We have the Ascender goodness
Seminar.
gracious,
Yeah.
seminar. Thank you. Words are not working for me.
Yeah.
Next week, there's also information on, if you can't be there in person, how to attend our gala virtually, that we would love everyone to participate in. And if nothing else, I hope y'all have a great rest of your Thursday. And thank you for bearing with us, even though we started a little bit late today.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Hope to see you next week in
Yes.
person or online. All right.
Yeah. Right.
Take care. Thank you.